Okay, John. Quick question. Have you ever finished writing a message and then deleted it? And then wrote it again? And then deleted it again?
Every single day. Sometimes I delete a message so many times that I just don't send it at all.
Exactly. And what was wrong with the first message?
Honestly, nothing. It was fine. But my brain said, no, that's not perfect.
And that one word? Perfect. That word is the problem. And today, we're going to talk about exactly why. Welcome to Speak Unstoppable. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast that helps you speak English with confidence in real life every single day. I'm Maria.
And I'm John. If this is your first time with us, welcome. We are so happy you're here. This episode is for B1 to B2 learners, so intermediate to upper intermediate level. If that's you, you're in exactly the right place.
And if you've been listening for a while already, thank you. Really, thank you for coming back.
How are you feeling today, Maria?
Honestly, a little bit exposed. Because today's topic, it's about me too. I think it's about all of us.
Same here. I think everyone listening right now is going to hear something today and think, oh no, that's me.
So let's get into it. Today, we're talking about perfectionism and how it might be the single biggest thing that's stopping you from speaking English fluently.
Okay, so let me set up today's topic with a question. Maria, imagine this. You're in a meeting. Or maybe you're talking to a friend, and someone asks you a question in English. And you know the answer. You understand everything. But
you wait. You wait because you're building the sentence in your head first. Checking the grammar. Checking the tense. Checking the word order.
exactly. And while you're checking,
the moment passes. Someone else answers. Or the conversation moves on. And you're left there with your perfect sentence that nobody ever heard.
here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine two friends are baking a cake. One friend says, let's just put it in the oven and see what happens. The other friend keeps checking the recipe, again and again, measuring everything 5 times, worried it won't be perfect.
And while the second friend is still measuring, the first friend already has a cake. It might not be perfect. Maybe it's a little uneven. But it's a real cake. People can eat it. People can enjoy it.
The second friend? Still measuring. Still no cake.
And that's what perfectionism does to your English. It keeps you measuring forever, while other people with much worse grammar than you are out there having real conversations, making real connections, getting real practice.
Maybe this happens to you too. Let's get into it. Maria, can I tell you something a little embarrassing?
Please.
For almost 2 years, I didn't speak much English out loud. I read it. I listened to podcasts. I understood movies without subtitles. But speak? Rarely.
Why not?
Because in my head, I thought, I'm not ready yet. My grammar isn't good enough yet. Let me study a bit more first.
And how long did a bit more last?
2 years, apparently.
This is so common. I see this with so many learners. They're waiting for a feeling. The feeling of being ready. But here's the problem. That feeling, it doesn't usually come before you speak.
It comes after.
Exactly. There's a phrase for this. We call it waiting for the green light. A green light is the light on a traffic signal that means go. So, if you're waiting for the green light, it means you're waiting for a clear signal that says, okay, now it's safe. Now you can go.
And with English, a lot of learners are sitting at that light. Engine on, ready to go. But the light never turns green. Because there's always one more grammar rule to learn, one more word to check.
This feeling, it's frustrating, right? You feel stuck. Like you're working so hard, but not moving anywhere.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You've studied for months, maybe years, and you still feel like you can't really speak.
So here's our first word for today. The word is stagnant. Stagnant means not moving, not changing, staying in the same place for too long. Like water in a pond that doesn't flow, it just sits there.
So if your English feels stagnant, it means
it's not moving forward. Even if you're studying, even if you're working hard, if you're not speaking, your spoken English stays in the same place.
okay, that's a strong picture. Stagnant water. Nobody wants that.
No, nobody wants stagnant water, and nobody wants stagnant English either.
So Maria, why does this happen? Why do our brains do this to us?
It's actually quite simple. Your brain wants to protect you. And making a mistake in front of other people, especially in another language, that feels like a small danger to your brain.
Like a small risk.
Exactly. A risk. So your brain says, don't take that risk yet. Prepare more first. Study one more lesson. Watch one more video. Then you'll be safe.
And it sounds so reasonable. Just one more lesson sounds responsible. It sounds smart.
It does. But here's the truth. There is no final lesson that makes you ready. There's no moment where a bell rings and says, congratulations, you are now allowed to speak.
I actually have a small story about this too. Last year, I was learning to swim. And I read about swimming. I watched videos about how to move your arms, how to breathe, for weeks.
And then?
And then one day, my friend just pushed me into the pool. Not literally pushed, but encouraged me strongly.
Encouraged.
And guess what? I could swim. Not perfectly. But I could move through the water. All those videos helped a little, sure, but the actual swimming, that I only learned by being in the water.
This is such a good example, because speaking English is the same. You can study grammar books for years, but speaking, that skill, you only build it by speaking. There's no other way.
So here's our second word. The word is overthinking. Overthinking means thinking about something too much, more than is helpful or necessary.
For example, someone says to you, "How was your weekend?" And instead of just answering, your brain starts overthinking. Should I say I went or I have been? Is weekend singular or plural here? Wait, what's the past tense of go again?
And by the time your brain finishes all that, the person has already started talking about something else.
Exactly. Overthinking takes a simple moment and makes it complicated. It takes a small question and turns it into a small crisis.
I overthink so much that sometimes I rehearse conversations in my head before they even happen. Like, I imagine someone asking me something, and I prepare my answer in advance.
Does that help?
A little bit. Sometimes, but the real conversation never goes exactly like I imagined anyway. So all that preparing, it was kind of wasted.
Maybe you know this feeling too. You prepared a perfect response in your head, but the real conversation went a different direction completely. Okay, John, let's talk about something more positive now. Because we don't want listeners to feel bad. We want them to feel free.
Yes, because here's the good news. The solution isn't complicated. It's actually simple. Maybe not easy, but simple.
The solution is to shift your focus from perfection to progress.
Can you explain that a bit more?
Sure. Perfection means doing something with no mistakes at all. Completely correct. Flawless.
And progress means?
Progress means moving forward, even a small amount. Getting a little bit better than before. It doesn't mean you're perfect, it just means you're better than yesterday.
So if yesterday I made 10 mistakes in a conversation, and today I make 9.
That's progress. That's a win. That's something to be happy about.
Huh. I never thought about it like that. I always thought about how many mistakes I made, not about whether that number was smaller than before.
This is so common. We compare ourselves to a perfect native speaker in our heads. But that's the wrong comparison. The right comparison is you. Today versus you yesterday.
Okay, here's a specific situation. Imagine you're at a new job. It's your first week. Someone asks you a question in a meeting, and you answer, but you use the wrong tense. You say, I am working on this yesterday instead of I was working on this yesterday.
A perfectionist brain immediately thinks, oh no, I made a mistake. Everyone noticed. I sound stupid.
But what really happens?
In reality, probably nothing. The other person understood you completely. The meeting continues. Nobody even remembers it 5 minutes later.
Here's our third word. Self-conscious. Self-conscious means feeling nervous or embarrassed about what other people think of you, especially about small things.
For example, I felt very self-conscious about my accent, so I didn't say much in the meeting.
Or, don't be so self-conscious about your grammar. People care more about your ideas than your perfect sentences.
And here's something important. The people listening to you, they are usually not analyzing your grammar. They're listening to your message. What you're saying, not exactly how you're saying it.
I think about this sometimes when I talk to people learning my language. If they make a small mistake, honestly, I barely notice. I'm just happy we're having a conversation.
Exactly. And that's how most people feel when you speak English too. They want to communicate with you. The grammar is just background noise to them.
Okay, second specific situation. Imagine you're traveling. You're in a coffee shop in another country. You want to order a coffee, but you're not sure if you should say, "Can I get a coffee?" or "Could I have a coffee?" or "I would like a coffee."
And while you're deciding which one is more correct,
the person behind the counter is just standing there, waiting, probably wondering why you're staring at the menu so intensely.
And here's the secret. All three of those phrases are completely fine. A native speaker might use any of them. There's no single correct answer you're searching for.
So instead of searching for the perfect phrase, you could just pick one. Any one. And say it.
Exactly. And here's our fourth word for today. Good enough. This phrase, good enough, means something is acceptable, even if it's not perfect. It does the job.
My English isn't perfect, but it's good enough to have this conversation.
Your sentence had a small mistake, but it was good enough for me to understand you completely.
I love this phrase because it's not about giving up. It's not saying I don't care, I'll never improve. It's saying this is enough for right now, and I can keep improving while I use it.
Exactly. Good enough gets you into the conversation. And conversations, real ones, are where your English actually grows.
Maria, can I share something a bit deeper?
Of course.
I think for a lot of us, this isn't really about English at all. It's about a voice in our head. A voice that's very critical, very harsh.
Say more about that.
Well, when I make a mistake in English, the voice in my head doesn't say, "That's okay, you're learning." It says things like, "Why did you say that? That sounded stupid. Everyone heard that."
That voice is so loud, isn't it?
It is. And here's the strange thing. If a friend of mine made that same mistake, I would never say those things to them. I would say, "No worries. I understood you perfectly."
So we're kind to others, but harsh to ourselves.
Exactly. And I started asking myself, would I say this to a friend who's learning English? And almost always, the answer is no. So why am I saying it to myself?
This is such an important point. Our fifth word is self-critical. Self-critical means judging yourself harshly, focusing on your mistakes and weaknesses.
He's very self-critical. Even when he does something well, he only focuses on the small mistakes.
Try not to be so self-critical. You're learning, and learning includes mistakes.
I think a lot of perfectionism in English is really just being self-critical, but about a specific topic. Grammar, pronunciation, word choice.
And the goal isn't to silence that voice completely. That's hard, maybe impossible. The goal is to notice it, and then, gently, talk back to it.
How would that sound?
Something like, the voice says, "That sentence was wrong." And you respond, calmly, maybe, but the person understood me. And I'll learn the correct way eventually. Right now, I communicated. That's the win.
That feels so much kinder.
It is kinder. And kindness, especially kindness toward yourself, that's actually part of learning a language well. Stress and fear, they don't help your brain learn. They actually make it harder.
So being less hard on yourself isn't just nice to have. It's actually practical? It helps you improve faster?
Exactly that. When you're relaxed, your brain remembers words better, finds them faster, and connects ideas more easily. When you're tense and self-critical, your brain spends its energy on fear, not on language.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. Maria, if you had to give one mindset shift to someone listening right now, what would it be?
I would say this. Speaking is not the test at the end of learning. Speaking is part of the learning.
Say that again, because I think that's huge.
Speaking is not the test at the end of learning. Speaking is part of the learning.
For me, the shift was realizing that every conversation, even the awkward ones, even the ones with mistakes, they're not failures. They're just data, information. Your brain is collecting real experience.
And real experience, even imperfect experience, is worth more than perfect silence.
I love that. Perfect silence. Because that's really what perfectionism gives us in the end, isn't it? Silence. Very correct. Very careful. Silence.
And nobody ever became fluent through silence.
One more thing I want to add. Be patient with yourself the way you'd be patient with a friend. If your friend was learning a new skill, you wouldn't expect them to be perfect on day 1, or month 1, or even year 1.
You'd expect them to be learning. Slowly, sometimes messily. And that's exactly what you are too. Someone who is learning. Not someone who has failed at being perfect.
So here's the sentence to remember from today. Done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. Say that again with us.
Done is better than perfect.
Write that down somewhere if you can. Put it where you'll see it. Okay, everyone, let's slow down now. Word tour time. Let's go through the words from today one more time, nice and slow.
Word 1. Stagnant. This means not moving, staying in the same place for too long, like water that doesn't flow.
Example 1. His English felt stagnant because he never practiced speaking.
Example 2. I didn't want my progress to become stagnant, so I started talking to people online.
For me personally, I used to feel stagnant with my second language too, until I just started using it. Mistakes and all.
Word 2. Overthinking. This means thinking about something too much, more than is helpful.
Example 1. She was overthinking her reply, so she never sent the message.
Example 2. Stop overthinking it. Just say the sentence, even if it's not perfect.
I do this constantly with emails. I write, delete, rewrite. Overthinking at its finest.
Word 3. Self-conscious. This means feeling nervous or embarrassed about what others think of you.
Example 1. He felt self-conscious about his accent in the meeting.
Example 2. Don't be self-conscious. Everyone here is learning too.
Honestly, I still feel self-conscious sometimes when I speak a new language. The feeling doesn't disappear completely. You just learn to speak anyway.
Word 4. Good enough. This means something is acceptable, even if it's not perfect.
Example 1. His pronunciation wasn't perfect, but it was good enough to be understood.
Example 2. That sentence is good enough? Let's move on.
This phrase honestly changed how I feel about emails, conversations, everything. Good enough and send.
Word 5. Self-critical. This means judging yourself harshly, focusing on mistakes.
Example 1. She's very self-critical. Even small mistakes feel huge to her.
Example 2. Try not to be so self-critical. You're doing better than you think.
I try to ask myself, would I say this to a friend? If not, I try not to say it to myself either.
Okay, practical time. One thing to try today. Just one.
Today, have one short conversation in English. It can be very small. Ordering something. Greeting a neighbor. Sending a voice message instead of typing.
And here's the important part. Before you speak or send it, do not check it 5 times. Check it once, maybe, then send it. Even if it's not perfect.
And here's your sentence template for today. Practice saying this out loud.
It's not perfect, but it's good enough. And I'm proud I said it.
Say it again. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. And I'm proud I said it.
That sentence, it's not magic, but it reminds you what actually matters. Not perfection. Action.
Okay, comment challenge time.
This week's question. What's one thing you've been waiting to be perfect before doing? In English or in life?
Write it in the comments. Just one sentence. I've been waiting to be perfect before I underscore.
We read every comment, every single one. And honestly, you might help someone else just by sharing your answer.
If this episode helped you today, please give it a like. It really helps more people find this podcast.
And subscribe to Speak Unstoppable if you haven't yet. New episodes every day. Real conversations, real English, real life.
Thank you for being here today. You showed up. You listened. And that's not nothing. That's actually everything.
Until next time, remember, done is better than perfect.
Keep speaking. Keep going. Bye, everyone.
Bye.